Communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome to the Man Translation Show. How is everybody doing this Sunday? I am your host, Sky C, and we have our resident relationship and communication strategist, Dante V. We are the mother and son dynamic duo, and every week we come here and we share our life experiences with you so that
Mhm.
your interpersonal relationships, you can bridge the gap, in all of your relationships at work, at home, and your family and your business, because all of these relationships are intermingled. Y'all try to separate them, but they are not. And so we acknowledge that it all starts with a conversation, and that we really want to acknowledge that men and women do not think the same and do not communicate the same. So therefore, a translation or a decoding is necessary. So I have invited my son here to help decode and translate, and also prove or dispel the myth that mothers and sons can have a healthy relationship. So tonight we're going to have a part two. So like and share, like and share. We come here, we bring you great content week after week after week, and you guys are being selfish and not sharing. You need to like and share. It's time for you guys to start sharing this broadcast, because I know that the subject matters that we talk about, this is cutting edge stuff. This is stuff that other people are not really talking about. We talk about the hard conversations over here. We talk about stuff that's really going to change your life, things that are practical, that are biblically based, that you can take and use in your life like right away. You know what I mean? One of the things that my grandmother would always tell me was that you can learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to make your own mistakes. So you can learn from my mistakes. You can learn from Dante's mistakes. You don't have to make your own mistakes. It's just time to start listening. And, mainly I'm talking to my culture of people. We also not just want to bridge the gap between men and women, but we also want to bridge the gap of generations. You know, my generation to your generation, my generation to pour into your generation. I miss my grandmother and her wisdom and the things that she could share. You, as young people, you don't know everything. Okay, you need to start listening, okay, and applying, because who got time to make their own mistakes? Nobody. So we're going to be talking about the energy vampires. We talked about it last week. We ran out of time, and so we are doing a part two. But we're going to talk about how to take back your power. How to take back your power. What's the face for it, Dante?
Man. Again, I've been in this situation a time or two, and I guess because you consider this person a friend or whatever the case may be, like you're more amped to listen. But it's like, one, you are the problem because you don't have to be in it; you choose to be in it. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
how do I remove myself from the situation without seeming selfish or whatever the case may be? And it really does get to a point where you do have to draw the line in the sand and be able to separate the two. Hey, we talked about this before. Um, I don't want. I mean, I took the harsh approach because like you got to talk to somebody else about this. I can't help you. And I can't listen to it because I know me. If I listen to it, I'm going to take it on like as if it's my issue. And then when you call me about the same issue again, it's like I thought we dealt with this.
Well, because that this just goes to show that people don't know how to conflict resolute. That's why I always talk about, when we are in families, we don't really understand one of the purposes of a family. One of the purposes of a family is to learn social skills, especially if you have a lot of siblings. If you have a lot of brothers and sisters, that means that you should really, learn how to be dealing with different personalities. If you got seven brothers and sisters, you should be by the time you become an adult, you should be very good at dealing with a lot of different personalities. But what we do is we take it personally. We take everything personally. It's like my brother said this and my sister did that, instead of learning how to deal with the situation, because you're not going to get away from it. If you don't deal with it in your family, you're going to deal with it on your job. If you don't deal with it in your job, you're going to deal with it in business. Everything in life is relationships. Even those
Hmm.
of us that read and study our Bible, we are reading about somebody else's relationships. When we watch these little shows that come on TV, the love and hip hops and all of that stuff, and love and marriages and the one and all these different things. We're looking at people's relationships. You're not going to get away from it. You're not. So you might as well learn how to conflict resolute. You're going to have to conflict resolute on your job. You don't get along with everybody that you work with. You don't even like half them people.
No.
So how do you do that? How do you navigate through these relationships? People that you may not like with on your job. But believe it or not, your job is not a place where you go to make friends. It's a place where
No,
you go to
go make
make,
your money and go home.
yeah.
I mean, is it nice to be, friends with the people you work with? Yes, but it is not a requirement unless there is a group project that we all have to work on. And even then, we ain't got to be friends.
Nope.
I'm not hanging out. I'm not kicking it with y'all. I'm going home. Y'all go with the beers and whatever. I'm going home.
So the first thing that we always try to do here is we always try to get on the same page as far as definitions, because we understand that there's more than one definition to a word, and that's really important when you sit down and have a conversation with someone. It's really important that you actively listen to what it is that they're saying, so that you can really get an understanding. It's almost like an interview, and ask questions so you can gain clarity. These relationships are important. You act like these relationships are disposable. They're not. If you do not deal with these relationships in your family, you're going to have to deal with them at some point, whether it be in your romantic relationships. You're still going to have to deal with relationships. I just don't understand why people get so upset. The reason they keep coming back to you with the same problem is because they're not used to, resolving things. People are used
All right,
to
let's go.
problems going on and on and on. They're not used to bringing things to a resolve.
Well, life is about progression. If you keep bringing the same thing over and over again, that's not progression. It's one thing to plateau, but if you just stagnate for no reason, or you're in your own way, don't bring that over here.
A lot of times too, the reason why it's not resolved because relationship to conflict resolute and to come to a resolve requires growth. It requires growth. When people are married and they get divorced because of irreconcilable differences, because somebody's not growing. Somebody is not growing. And I think
Either
that the
that,
biggest
either that,
thing,
or somebody lost sight of something along the way.
yeah, absolutely. Perspective is the thing, but I think that people become, so hard line in their perspectives that they are not open minded. They think that their perspective is it. Close the book, that's it. And then instead of having an open mind and receiving information, it's about who's right and who's wrong for them. So you'll never
I've been
resolve
there.
you'll never resolve
I've been there.
the
Go.
situation trying to figure out. or well, I'm right, you're wrong. It is no right and no wrong. I'm telling you my perspective. I'm telling you how I feel about situation. Your feelings are not wrong. You feel what you feel. You feel what you feel.
Feelings aren't facts.
Feelings
I've,
aren't
I've,
fair.
I've, I've been hearing people say this a lot, and it's the truth.
It's the truth.
You're in a heated conversation, argument, debate, whatever, and then it's like people say, "Well, this is how I feel. My feelings are valid." Yeah, to you, but in regards to factual things, your feelings aren't.
And not only that, your feelings don't necessarily even have to be the truth either.
That's just how you feel.
Just how you feel. And tomorrow you might feel a different way.
Hmm.
I oftentimes say your feelings are unstable. You cannot make life changing decisions based on how you feel. And people, you have to regulate, your feelings. I just was having a conversation, with someone, and I was telling them that along the way, I found out that procrastination does not have anything to do with being lazy. Procrastination is a trauma response. It's a trauma response. It is a trauma response to stress. It is a trauma response to anxiety. It is a trauma response when you feel overwhelmed. It is a defense mechanism.
I can see that.
Yep, it's a defense
I
mechanism.
can I can see that. I
Yeah,
can definitely see that.
yeah.
Especially the overwhelmed part. It's like, where do you start? I'm gonna start with this nap. We're gonna try again tomorrow. Like
Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
that is legitimately a thing. It's like I literally I go into my office, I look at my desk, and like I'm going to clean this desk, and then by the end of the day, it's like I'm ready to go, and I ain't touched nothing on. In fact, I added more stuff onto it
Procrastination is also lack of organization skills.
because I got the skill. I'm just not applying.
Right.
That's it.
Lack of
Not being
organization.
applied
Lack.
whatsoever.
Lack mean you ain't you not you can have something but not, what I'm saying? You're lacking in your application. Yes. It means you're not organized. So you're overwhelmed. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Who eating elephants?
When you have a huge task before you, a huge project, and you're
Is that why the
procrastinating,
elephant was in the room?
that's why he was in there to eat him. You got to eat him. That's why he in there, because you got to eat him. But you can only eat him one one bite at a time.
What in the Dahmer is going on here?
No, Dama was eating humans.
You eat everybody.
So yeah, you see the thing is with relationships is you have to get to the root of what's really going on. What is stressful about what it is that you get ready to do? You're finding some stress in it. There's some anxiety in it. Are you dealing with, the fear of success? Some people are afraid to be pushed in the limelight. Fame is not for everybody. Some people want to stay behind the scenes. There's a lot of
Yes.
anxiety being in the forefront, where you can make
I
mistakes
just
and, yeah, be judged by, even coming
no,
here.
I
Come.
just I just value my privacy. That's really what it comes down to. I've actually met a couple people who stopped me on the street and recognized me from either TikTok or Facebook, and I was like, yeah, this is weird. I don't really want this to be a thing.
But it is, I mean, it's growth for me, it's growth for you. It's a lot of growth for me. I'm a behind the scenes type person, but it's important for me. See, for me, as you get older, you want to make impact. You want your life to have, meaning. You're more so focused on fulfillment as you get older. You're not really focused on, just grinding, making the money, getting the house and all of that. It becomes a deeper meaning, as you get
Mhm.
older. So for me, when I come here for a lot of different reasons. I come here because when I'm able to be there for someone, when I'm able to say something to spark some motivation in someone, to help someone not give up, or just make somebody feel like, there's somebody there that just like really cares. um When I'm able to help women, it really it just really makes me just remember that I wasn't able to help my mother growing up because I was too young. Now that I'm an adult and I have a lot of answers about a lot of situations, I want to take those experiences and help other women. So that every time I help another woman, I'm really helping my mother in essence. And so it takes on a deeper meaning. As you get older, it becomes less about you and more about other people. I want people to know that they can show up for themselves. And when they show up
Mm-hmm.
for themselves, it's not about what other people think. It's about, at the end of the day, that you did what it is that you were supposed to do, what you were born to do, what you were placed on the planet to do, and you're doing it. You're not really concerned about whether they really like it or not. At the same time, you do want to make impact, but it just becomes a bigger picture. It becomes a bigger picture, and you get to really see yourself. When we come here, for me, I really get to see my growth and how much I've grown, and I get to show up for people, because I'm telling you, so many people are going through stuff and they really do think that they're alone. And I really want people to know that I really do and genuinely care. I really do care. And I don't want people to go through situations blindly and in the dark. We're supposed to share. That's what this show is about. This is not a debate about who's right or who's wrong. Your feelings are not wrong. Your perspective is not wrong. We are here to share and to learn from each other, basically. Because I grew up with a bunch of energy vampires.
Oh,
So
Lord.
always define, these are people that feed off your emotion. And it's really important. I think a couple shows ago, we were talking about, how to increase your emotional intelligence. The reason why it became a natural thing for me is because it could cost you your life. It could literally cost you your life. If you walk around in the projects and you scared of everybody, you're going to be bullied and beat up every single day. Every single day. So you have to foster a level of confidence about yourself. You have to carry yourself a certain way. And you literally have to be willing to die for whatever it is you believe in. And you have to really send a message to people, basically with the way you carry yourself, that it ain't gonna be easy. Okay, you come messing over here, it's not gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be what you
And
think.
not to be trifled with.
Yes, it ain't gonna be what you think now. So think twice. Because a lot of times I found, growing up, if you fought somebody, you didn't necessarily have to had to win the fight. But if you gave them a run for their money,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, you're not gonna come over here again.
they ain't coming back. They're not coming back for seconds or thirds. And you had to fight. Like, you had to. I remember when a friend of mine moved into our neighborhood, Dawn. Dawn moved into our neighborhood. Dawn was skinny, little, light skinned. She was lighter than me, light skinned, and had a head full of beautiful hair. Dawn always had long hair, beautiful hair. That is a no in the projects. Okay. And my friend's sister did not like her, and her and Dawn fought every day for a week. And how me and Dawn ended up becoming friends was because growing up, they like to jump you. They like to jump you, pull your hair if you got hair, cut your face up. So I said, y'all not gonna jump her. I ain't even know the girl. She just moved in the neighborhood. I'm like, y'all not gonna jump her. Y'all gonna fight fair and square, and I'm gonna have her back. So I had her back. Man, let me tell you, this little skinny, light skinned girl, honey, she gave Darmaine a run for her money. Okay? Dawn can fight. That's why we ended up being friends. I don't hang with no punks. Can't be no punk and hang with me. She could scrap, as we would say back in the day. She could scrap. And so we all ended, then we ended up, she ended up being cool. Her and Darmaine fought every day for one whole week. And then after that, they became cool. They became cool. They both could fight. So it wasn't like one won over the other one. They was toe to toe, baby, blow to blow. So they ended up becoming friends. And so, you have to, and to me, life is like that. You have a persistent problem that keeps showing up, that's bullying you. You know what I'm saying? And you just doing everything to avoid it. You're gonna have to fight that thing. You going to put your gloves on and say, hey, come on. It's about to be me and you. I'm getting ready to start my YouTube channel. I know I've been saying that since January, but I'm getting ready to start the YouTube channel. And it's like when you do these things on social media, you really have to think through who you want to talk to, how do you want to show up. All those things are really important. You really got to think that stuff through. So one of the things that I keep running into, I mean, you've been seeing it, but at the core of what I've been really fighting against since I was a kid, like, what is it that people are like, you're passionate about? What I'm passionate about is kicking poverty's butt. That's what I'm passionate about. So we're going to wage war on the spirit of poverty because people don't fight poverty. They just think, oh, this is my lot in life. This is where I'm supposed to be. These are the cards that I've been dealt. And I want them to know that no. You got to face poverty and kick it in its butt. So we're waging war to eradicate and erase and annihilate the spirit of poverty. And that's what my show is going to be about. We're going to face that thing. And that's what these conversations are about. Having these hard conversations, having conversations with people that you don't want to have conversations with. See, me, I'm confrontational. If you saying something, doing something, I'm coming. I remember being at my job. I would come to work. I don't know why why do you keep going to my supervisor trying to get me fired? What is wrong with you? Why do you keep going behind my back, talking to my supervisor, trying to get me fired from my job? So one morning I came to work. My supervisor, he called me in the office. He was tired. He was so tired of her. Like, he said she come in my office every single morning telling me something about what you didn't do or did or didn't do, was supposed to do, you didn't do it. I caught her right by herself in the mail room. I was coming from lunch. She was putting the mail in the boxes because she worked for the director. And so when I walked in, I locked the door behind me, and then I walked over, locked the other door so nobody couldn't come in that way. And I was like, yo, what's the problem? Why do you keep going to my supervisor, talking to, basically telling him lies, trying to get me fired from my job? She was like, no. Don't get the stuttering now because you need to mind your business. You don't know what I'm doing. You just worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about what it is that I'm doing. My supervisor is tired of you coming to him lying because most of the majority of the time, whatever it is I'm doing, he knows what I'm doing. I don't work for you. Last time I checked, you didn't sign your name was nowhere on my paycheck. You do not sign my paycheck. Okay, at the bottom of my pay stub, your signature is nowhere there. Mind your business. She could not get out that mailroom quick enough. Okay, couldn't get out there quick enough. And then I had to confront her again. Okay, when we moved locations, had to confront her again. Don't you? When you confront people, let me tell you something. The reason why people ghost you, the reason why people block you, the reason why people avoid you and don't want to talk to you is because they lying on you and they don't want to face you. They know they are lying. They lying to their little cosign, little flying monkeys. They know they lying. So they never want to come to you for the truth. Why? Because the truth is like kryptonite to them. To a liar, the truth is kryptonite. And they know that you the type of person that they just can't say anything to without, getting a response. You're not intimidated by them. You're not scared of them. They're not going to come to you. Because why? Because they're cowards. They're cowards. You're a coward. You can talk about me behind my back, but soon as it's come time for you to say it to my face, say it to my face. You don't have nothing to say, coward. You don't have anything to say because you're a coward. That's why they won't face you. Don't never worry about people that don't want to talk to you or people that block you because they're cowards. That's why they do that. If I got a problem with you, you're gonna know it. You are going to know it. To your face, in your face, you're going to know it. If you hear me talking about somebody behind their back, it's because either I already talked to them to their face or I ain't got around to it yet. Because I ain't never scared. They don't want to face you because they know they lying. And they trying to get validation from this group of people over here that they think that don't like you. They're going to come up with you against you with the people that don't like you. So they want brownie points with the people that don't like you. So now, like some 7-year-olds, they all holding hands and kumbaya and trying to rip your back loose. But do it to my face because you better do it over there. That's what you better do it at. So I never concern myself with people that don't want to talk to me ever. I never concern myself with that. I never care about who don't want to talk to me because you're a liar. And if we ever get in the same room or if the people that you running behind my back talking to, if we ever get a chance to talk, the truth is going to come out. Yeah. Truth going to come out. Yeah. We know what the kryptonite did to Superman.
Told his ass up.
So the energy vampires, you kind of like you gotta pay them dust. Like don't let them feed off of your energy. Don't let them suck your energy from you. Give people a time limit to call you up and talk about that issue. Don't let them keep draining you, talking about the same thing over and over again.
Boundaries set and enforced.
And if you see that they don't have, if they're not growing, some people just want to complain.
You only get one. Don't keep complaining about the same thing. Because now it's like you gotta do something about it.
The children of Israel complained and walked around in the wilderness for 40 years in time that they didn't have to. They could have been to their destination. They spent too much time complaining. Complaining is always going to steal your progress from you. It doesn't do anything for you to complain. Complaining does not solve the problem at all. You have to acknowledge it and come up with a solution for it. Because guess what? Life gonna throw you a whole nother problem coming. It's another one coming down the pike. So I do not have time to. I am not going to make the time, and I care about people. I care about people. I believe in loyalty. I believe in being there for people. But if I see that you're not trying to, if you keep going around that same merry-go-round, I don't care for roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. I don't see anything fun about it. I don't see anything fun about taking me to the 20th floor and dropping me down real fast and then jerking me over in this direction and spinning me around. That's not how I live my life. No. I don't like invisible roller coasters and I don't like visible ones. My life is valuable. I take everything I do seriously and everything I do with a purpose. And it's cool. See, this is the thing. Y'all got to be cool with people that if they don't like you, you got to be cool with that. You got to be like, I could care less about it. I could care less about it.
I think that's the part that I do not understand from some people.
Yeah.
It's like you find out that someone does not like you. And now you're like hell-bent on trying to figure out Why?
Or how to make them like you.
You
Everybody's
don't like me. That's something that you have to hold on to. I'll
yeah.
forget that existed. Yeah,
I,
I've never understood that. Well, I don't know why, and I never did anything to that. I ain't got nothing to do with you. Unless said person comes and wants to talk to me about, whatever incident or whatever the case may be. Okay, all right. I'm giving
you
damn
know,
who it is. It's a
it's a
coworker,
really
friend,
bad
boss.
it's a really bad cycle that people get themselves into. It really is worrying about what other people think about you. You will never get anything accomplished like that. I'm telling you, you will
No,
not.
because
You
you
yeah.
people wrap themselves around the concept of such, and then they lose sight not only of themselves in some cases, like why go through and jump through all the hoops to figure out why someone doesn't like something or why they don't agree with you or whatever the case that may be. They're their own individual.
And they don't have to. That's the thing about it. They don't have to. It's the same thing with you know, children. When children, one of the things I tell my children, and I know y'all be like, y'all probably thinking I'm just like the weirdest mom ever, but I'm just not this kind of mother. My job is to raise independent children for them to stand on their own 2 feet. And I understand as a mother, you're not going to always like what I say. You're not going to always like what I do. So therefore, that is not a requirement. It's not required that you like me. I could care less whether my children like me or not. I do not care whether y'all like me. I don't care. Because it's my job to be your mother. It is my job, not it's not my job to be your friend. When I stand before God, I will stand before God as your mother. Okay, not as your friend. As you become adults and you grow, maybe we might become friends. We might, but it's my job to administer whatever medicine that you need at this particular at the time. And sometimes
Mhm.
medicine can seem violent. Have you ever seen somebody choking? You got to grab that person, squeeze them, violently, and sometimes smack them in their back. It don't even look like you really saving their life, but you are.
Yeah, no, like CPR. Like, yeah, they say if you do it correctly, you're gonna break some ribs.
Yeah. And you got to be willing to break those ribs in
Hmm.
order to save their life. And that's how I look at, parenthood. I have to administer the hard medicine. I have to be the one that's going to tell you the truth when nobody else wants to tell you the truth. That's my job to tell you what the truth is. Okay, so whether you like it or not is moot. Moot means it's irrelevant. It does not fit into the equation. It does not fit because if you put too much information into any equation, it's going to come out wrong. So that point is moot. So you have parents who be doing everything that they can to be friends with their child, and then wonder why they don't get no respect, or wonder why it's like, okay, whatever. But guess what? Guess what you won't do? You will not stand before God and say, "She didn't tell me." You won't do that. You will be like, well, she did try to tell me. She did tell me. And you're going to be held accountable for everything I told you. Whether you listen to it or not, it's moot. Who cares? It's my job to tell you. If you don't listen, that's on you. That's on you. That is on you. Okay. My generation is supposed to pour into your generation. And so it bothers me when I see, grandmothers that's in their 70s twerking. If you don't stand up, lady, some things are not for human consumption. My son don't need to see me drop it down and pick it up. He don't need to see that. What is that face?
If she drop it, just check it on the floor underneath the couch. Don't even pick it up.
Yeah, like I don't need to. My son don't need. My children don't need to see that. They do not need to see that. This woman could barely move. She looked like she was gonna throw her back out, and she twerking. That is not what our young people need. That's not what they need. That is not the example that you need to be setting for your grandchildren or your great grandchildren. That's what's wrong. You're not passing down the wisdom of your experiences. You're not telling them the truth, whether they want to hear it or not. Because young people, they just want to know that somebody care about them.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know that you care. That's what they want to know. So we'll twerking with your old self. Go down somewhere. Mm-mm. So where did we leave off last week? We were talking about uh, blame, being lazy and making excuses is the number one characteristic of energy vampires. Also, big losers who make excuses. I love acronyms. I use acronyms in my business all the time. I love acronyms. I will make up an acronym about something in
The,
about 5 minutes.
the making excuses part is the thing that bothers me. Because it don't matter what you say, what you put out there, they got a rebuttal as to why it won't work. Why did you call me?
It's to their own detriment.
Why did
Because
you
deep
call me?
down inside, you have to recognize the when people have low self-esteem, or when they have no self-esteem, or when they have no confidence, or when something is a trauma response, or when people don't feel as though that they are enough. Because what you're dealing with, whether you know it or not, you're dealing with their unresolved traumas. Those excuses is their way of protecting themselves. Again, it's a defense mechanism by default. They don't even realize they've been doing it so long. They've been doing it so long. They've been making excuses for everything for so long why they can't do something. You know?
Again, why did you call me? Like trying to be that friend is okay, all right, I got you, or do this A, B, C, D. And it's like, well, that won't because that won't like you never even tried it, but you just want things to be a certain way. Again, life is about progression. It's one thing to plateau, but to remain stagnant because you want to be, that's something completely different.
Because people they have control issues. People, when they're in relationships, they complaining and making excuses because that other person not doing what they want them to do.
Except the fact, again, I was in the military. I was married. And I went to counseling because I first marriage, you have no clue. You're just trying to get some understanding. The guy was like, you can't. She gonna be who she is. You can't make her do anything. Only thing you can do is just accept it. Whether or not you decide to remain by her side while she's doing said thing or not doing said thing is a different story. But if she can't realize what she's doing after you already communicate, you got to make a decision.
That's
That
what
for
it
me,
is.
that for
Yeah,
me, done did it.
yeah.
Okay, all right, you make it like so you don't have to remain in there. Let them accept people for who they are and not who you want them to be.
Who you want
Life will
them to
be
be.
so much better.
So much better. All your relationships will be so much better because that's who they are. And either you choose to deal with them or you don't. And if you don't, we respect it. If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. Either way, it's cool. Either way. Because it's not going, it's not, stop trying to change other people when most of the time the stuff that people be complaining about is really a mirror image of what they see about themselves in that person. That's really what's going on. They see themselves in that person, but it takes courage to change, because in order to change you got to say that something was wrong,
Or you made a mistake,
or
or
you
you are the cause of said thing.
That's right. So it takes a lot of courage. I always say you cannot have honesty without integrity. Integrity is what you have with yourself. Honesty is what you have with other people. People want to be honest with other people, but then they want to lie to themselves. It just don't work that way. It don't work that
Nobody got
way.
time for that.
You got to first have integrity with you. And having integrity means what? Being whole. You cannot be a broken person and wonder why every single relationship you get in does not work out. It's not working out because you're broken. You're broke. What's broke? What is broke? You hear people say, "Oh, I can't do that because I'm broke." Why are you not identifying what's broke?
Hmm.
What is broken about your life? What needs to be fixed? I surround myself with people that are brutally honest. I need you to tell me what's in my blind spot.
Ah,
Your blind spot will get you in an accident and could get you killed. There are things about you that you do not see about yourself that you need someone to say, "Hey, girl, you tripping. I'm gonna need you to fall back on that because yeah, you was way out in left field on that one because yeah." Oh, but
nah.
no, you
I've,
think you perfect and you think you don't make no mistakes, so nobody can't tell you nothing. That's pride and that's ego.
look.
What are you laughing at downtown? I'm trying to figure out my ego. Sorry.
No, I had somebody in my life. Um, because brutal honesty for me is the thing. If you are my friend, you're gonna tell it to me straight. I don't need no sugarcoat. I don't need none of that. But she literally told me that I wasn't her friend because my words were harsh. You don't have to call me anymore. I was a narcissist. I was an a hole. I was all these things. Stop calling me that. Because you asked me a question, I give you the truth, and now you're mad at my response. Well, real friends don't do that. No, real friends talk to their friends. However, they get the point. Real friends ain't going, and they're not going to sugarcoat anything. Hey, you know you was wrong. Hey, you know you did this, or you know you did that. Hey, you being dumb as hell last night. Oh well, you were out of character, and that was just becoming of you. That's not how my friends talk to me. Straight up, just hey, this is what it is. I listen.
Because they looking
I
for
had,
co-signers. They want
I,
co-signers. They looking for validation and approval. You'll
ain't
never
nobody got
grow
time
that
for that.
way. You will never ever grow that way. That's why it's so unfortunate when so many people like I block this person. They even do that in the church. They even do it in the church. You know, God is removing so and so and so and so person from your life. Just stop telling lies on God. God ain't removing nobody because He ain't removed. Jesus ain't removed Judas. He knew Judas was going to betray him.
Hmm.
He knew it. While he was standing there talking about how much he loved him, he knew it. He ain't never removed him. So people don't understand that you need a mixture of people. You need critics because your critics is going to point out things that you never would have even considered. You never would
I
have
need
considered that
I need
thing.
her in my life. She indeed was the energy vampire. I had no tolerance, no patience, no nothing for it. I took great pleasure in blocking the hell out of her. In fact,
I mean,
I,
some people
I
you do
made,
have to draw
yeah,
the
no,
line
I made,
and not deal
I
with.
made accounts to find her to block her on. Don't ever find me ever again. Go live your life.
Yeah, some people, they have deeper issues than what we're talking about. We're not talking about people that have mental, issues and stuff like that. Some people you do have to, really fall back and say, you know what, it would not be good for you or for me, if we continue,
No, not at all.
conversation.
Mm-mm.
So the dominator vampire love to feel superior, like alpha males or females, due to their deep insecurities of being weak or wrong. And some people just, want to play the victim. They just want to be weak, and they want somebody to, because some people.
Can we call this the Princess Peach effect? Because come on, you call them with the sob story, and it's just woe is me. This person did this, and this person, like, you have an issue, a laundry list of issues of what everyone did to you, and then once asked, well, how did they get here? You start pulling up stuff from your childhood that may not even exist. It's like you want to be here because the Princess Peach effect gets you the attention that you want.
Yeah.
Going to work crying all loud and crying all ugly just so you can have somebody to talk to because said person has done you wrong. Why are you still with them? Why are you still here?
Because they thrive on the drama. Their need to create constant drama is the product of a dark underlying emptiness in their lives. They thrive on drama. Oh my God. They thrive on drama, chaos, and confusion. There's always something going on in their life. And when you really, upon further examination, you start to see a pattern starts to emerge all the time.
It's
Why
you.
somebody always doing something to you all the time?
Or when you go off and tell the story, it's about what they did to you and not what you did to get in that position. Because every action has a reaction. Now, again, for the sake of argument, some people are in a situation that they generally cannot get out of at that point in time. But some people keep going back because the thing that breaks them is the thing that they also thrive on as well. It's like any attention is good attention when
Mhm.
whether it's negative or it's positive. It's like that's how they operate. I don't operate that way. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and these are so many different kinds of vampires. You have to be able to really recognize them because they're not just narcissistic. We are in this society. To me, society is just really sick. We're dealing with a society of people that have not dealt with their traumas, and so you're trying to have relationships. I'm starting to firmly believe that before we get into these romantic relationships, we need to people be needing to have some mental evaluations.
At one point in time, you couldn't get married without a blood test, right?
Well, you still can't get married without a blood test, but that's looking at your bloodline, but we're not looking at mentally,
No, I'm
because
just saying. I think a whole like psych evaluation does need to happen, especially with some people. But
yeah,
that's a
you
whole different story
dealing
for you.
with, just like I was going to bring this story. Oh wow, what was the young lady's name? Oh God, I said I was going to pull the story up, but the guy, he told her. Now he was an ex, a felon. He had gotten out of jail, and he killed her. He ended up killing her. What was her name? I think it was Andrea Hardin or something like that. It happened probably not too long ago. He told her that he had anger issues. He told her that he had a bad temper. He told her that, he was in jail before. Like, normally people don't do that. You have to figure the red flags out for yourself. Like,
Right.
he gave her a whole laundry list of red flags. Okay, these wasn't even flags. I don't know what these things was that he was sharing with her. And he ended up killing her. He said, I tried to tell her. Some people thrive on drama. They're melodramatic because it makes them feel special. Now, for me, I never understood, growing up, why women want to get involved with men that come out of jail. Because normally what happens, and when growing up in the projects, kids, the guys start going to jail early. So by the time they're teenagers, they go into the detention center, and once they start going in, they go back and forth for the rest of their life. So whatever girlfriend that they had before they went in there, they kind of drag them on in there with them. Do you know how many women would put that's collecting food stamps, living in living in low income housing, don't work, have a bunch of children, but will put their money together to go and see somebody in prison, put their money together to go and put money on books of people that's in prison, money that they don't have, mind you, because we are dealing with a very sick society. We are dealing with people that have no confidence, no self-esteem, desperate and thirsty for attention. That's what you thought reality shows was going to come and go. They still here.
Because it's based off drama.
And
People like drama.
And they are the furthest thing from reality. I don't know what you calling it reality TV for. This ain't no reality. Who lives like this? No. This is dysfunction. And that's what's happening. The dysfunction becomes normal. It becomes normal. People don't know that they are addicted to chaos. They don't know that they're addicted to drama. I remember when I first started going down south as a child, from the projects, hearing gunshots and people arguing and fighting and confusion and chaos, to now you're down south and it is quiet. Quiet. You are not used to no quiet. You can't even go to sleep because it's too quiet. Because you ain't hearing no gunshots. You're not hearing nobody hollering and screaming and fighting, and somebody over here fighting, over there fighting, somebody being stabbed, this one being drugged. Quiet. People can't stand to be alone with themselves, let alone their own thoughts. So, of course, they have a listening ear and can call you and be on the phone with you for 4 hours, talking about the same thing and complaining about the same thing they was complaining about yesterday. Then you get off the phone and be wondering why you don't have no energy, because they just sucked it away from you.
Yeah, because it definitely be nap time sometimes.
So it becomes addictive. Anger. People that are angry, to me, angry people are dangerous. They're very dangerous people. You angry all the time? Like, who walks around angry every day? You can't find nothing to be happy about ever. Never, ever, ever, never, ever. You just angry with everybody, angry with everything, just angry. Ooh. Oh. That's something that's not normal. Something's wrong. There's an imbalance, because we run off of chemicals and hormones. That's how our body functions, off of chemicals and cells, releasing different hormones and stuff. If you're constantly angry all the time, you're releasing all those negative toxins and chemicals and stuff in your body. They probably angry. You probably have headaches all the time, because child, sucking all the air out the room when they come in the room. The judgmental vampires, due to their severely low self-esteem, the judgmental energy vampires love to pick on other people. Their treatment of others is merely a reflection of how they treat themselves. Oh my God, if y'all could just get this. Yeah. See, you oftentimes hear people say, you can't judge me. Okay. And ain't nobody trying to judge you.
But I can feel judged.
And that's what we're not doing. We're supposed to be judging situations. No, I'm not judging you as a person, but I definitely can discern what's going on in your situation. And I can definitely discern in your situation, you got self-worth issues. That's why you're so judgmental. That's why you're such a fault finder. That's why you love to criticize people all the time. because that's a reflection of how you really feel about yourself. So that's why you always got something to say about somebody else. Maliciously, I ain't talking about like joking around and stuff, playing around.
Right.
But we talking about maliciously, malicious intent of the heart to just really pick another person apart. And most of the time, these people are bullies.
Hmm. Again, I've been called a bully a time or two, and you know what? I don't mind. My whole philosophy is this: if you ask me a question, be prepared for everything. Because if I ask you, do you really want me to answer this question, and you say yes, and I answer your question, and it's not how you thought it was going to be answered, don't call me a bully afterwards. This is what you asked for.
They never asking for the truth. They don't want the truth. It's kryptonite. They want you to co-sign with the victimization. They
I ain't
want
doing it.
they want you to hold hands and sing kumbaya and talk about whoever it is back they biting out at that moment. That's what they want.
Ain't nobody
They
got
don't
time
want
for that.
you. They don't want you. Let me tell you what make people mad that I tell people this all the time. Mind your business. I will tell you to mind your business so quick it ain't even funny. Mind your business. If you mind your business, your life will be so much more peaceful. Your life will be so much more happy. If you mind your business, mind your business. Okay, so what? Your mom did whatever. Mind your business. All right, whatever. Your dad, whatever. Mind your business. Whatever's going on between your mom and dad, that's between your mom and dad. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Mind your business. If your dad talks to you about it, listen and keep it pushing. If your mom say something about it, listen and keep it pushing. Don't open your mouth. Don't say nothing. Don't say what you should have did. Well, mom, you should do this and you should do that. Understand when sometimes people just venting. They don't really want your advice. They just trying to get it off their chest. They really want to hear what you have to say. Learn to
Drink
be
water. Mind your business.
mind your business. Mind your business. People do not mind their business. It is so horrible how people always in somebody else's business. That's how you get punched in your face. Minding other people's business. Mind your business. It is not my, I don't make other people's business my business. Not even my children. Whatever they doing is not my business. I don't worry about. You got some mothers all up in their sons' relationships. That ain't none of your business. Whoever they in a relationship with, you ain't gotta live with them people. Nope. Yeah, and when everything you saying might be true, all the boxes might be checked. They might be the most horrible person that they with, but guess what? They got to deal with that.
Yeah, not you.
Not
That's none
you.
of my business. That's none of my business.
You don't like who your daughter is married to. You don't like who your son is married to. Yeah, been there, done that. Mind your business. So apparently, maybe that person is in their life so they can learn. They ain't want to listen to you, so now they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn today, straight from that person that you don't like. You don't even realize that person is doing a work. Because I believe in relationships, people bring out the. They don't just bring out your good; they bring out your bad and your ugly too.
Oh, absolutely.
If you weren't in that relationship, you would have never seen how ugly. You just be acting ugly. Mind your business, because oftentimes your girlfriend coming to you telling you what her husband did. Then you be all mad with her husband, and then they go back and make up,
They done made up.
and you still mad at him. Mind your business. Those are the judgmental. The innocent vampire aren't always malicious, as in the case with innocent vampires. Sometimes they just helpless and genuinely need help. So you gotta recognize when people really do genuinely need your help, when they really do need your support. This was my problem, always being somebody's rock and always wanting
Mhm.
to be there for people. I had to learn how to balance that as well, because people come to you, with their issues or whatever. So I had to learn how to set boundaries and put a timer on, you know, that as well. Because people, you are really impeding their growth. As long as they can keep running to you for an answer, they're not gonna ever grow. See, the whole thing, like in coaching, and I tell people this all the time because I certify people as coaches. In coaching, your coach does not give you the answer. It's not what your coach does. Your coach really is a sounding board so that you can hear yourself and hear and come up with your own
Mm.
solution. See, I'm not God and I can't play God in your life. And so you can't come to me every time, you'll never use your own faith if every time you need something you come to me. At what point are you going to use your own faith?
Hmm.
At what point are you going to become resourceful enough to come up with your own answers and your own scenarios? At what point?
Shoot.
If I keep giving you the answer, a coach is not supposed to give you the answer. The coach
No.
is
Well, come
strategic.
up with a solution
Right,
to put you on the right path. Because
right,
truth be told, the coach does not know your full situation because they're not in it. They really only know what you tell them.
right. Not only that, you want to build the person up. You want to edify them, you want to motivate them, you want to inspire them, you really want to be their cheerleader and let them see that really you do have your own answers. And if I'm talking to you and I say to you, well, you just said to me, because that's one of the techniques that you use is you repeat back to them what they said to
Mhm.
you. And when you repeat back to people what they just said to you, they hear themselves. A lot of times people speak, but they're not listening to themselves. That's why we
Just
get it
saying anything.
when people don't listen to us, but they not listening to themselves either. They're not listening to themselves. So as a coach, you are repeating back to them what it is that they're saying so that they can hear themselves and that they can come to their own answers, because you speak your answers out whether you know it or not. If you talk long enough, you will speak your own answers out. Hmm.
Talking to myself because I am my own consultant.
Yeah, you'll speak so that the other person is just there for this to be a sounding board and to say, oh, so let me get this straight. So I hear you saying that, and the reason why, da, 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 and it's just like all the light bulbs and stuff, they start to go out, off.
Mhm.
They start to go off. So how to identify the energy vampire? So how can you know whether you're dealing with an energy vampire or not? You will likely experience feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and physically ill. People can make you sick whether you know it or not.
Or yeah, or drained. If you have a conversation with somebody and then afterwards you just want to crawl into a ball and go to sleep, chances are, like,
Yeah.
you want to cancel the rest of your day to just recoup, relax, and recharge. More than likely.
Yeah, I had a situation with a guy like that, and it was just like, he would call me every single day, like every single day. He was an alcoholic. He was, a functional alcoholic. He went to work every day. He was a supervisor. He was a gambler. He would
Oh,
borrow his whole paycheck, and then when he got his paycheck, he would have to pay back all the money that he borrowed from the people on his job, and to the point that he couldn't even pay his bills. And he would do this in a cycle, week after week after week after week. And I, for 1 year of my life, 1 year of my life, I was on the phone with this man every single day.
listen, you're not gonna waste all my anytime minutes. I give a damn if they're free or not.
every
Mm-mm.
single day. Uh, so you got some of those that love to argue, love to debate, love to pick fights. Passive aggressive people are very dangerous. Passive aggressive people don't like to be. They don't like confrontation.
I do.
So what they'll do is they will make you emote because they don't want to show the emotions because they're too afraid people are not going to like them or want to be around them because of the emotions that they're showing. So they're passively aggressively manipulating, pulling your strings, pushing your buttons so that you can emote. They want you to emote. So they will a lot of times in relationships they'll start a fight and have you all up in arms screaming to the top of your lungs and sit
Making
there,
you look crazy, and
yeah,
they just all calm.
looking at you like you crazy, wondering like, meanwhile they done drove you up the wall. Yeah,
Yep, I've been in that type of relationship.
that's what this is. These are manipulative behaviors. When people are resentful and have anger, see, angry people operate in emotional blackmail. They emotionally blackmail you. So their anger, they weaponize their anger against you because they're trying to make you feel bad about something. They're trying to make you feel insecure about something that they feel as though you should have did or that you didn't do or the way you did it, or they're very manipulative. Angry people
Woo!
are
I'm
manipulative.
sorry. Can you say that? You said they're manipulative.
Yeah,
Because ain't nothing like emotional manipulation. How
yeah.
you can tell me what I should have did based off of you get the hell out of my face? Especially when whatever issue has already passed, whether it's been an hour, days, week, whatever. What do you want me to do? You want me to go back and do it how you wanted me to do it, but it's now done and can't whatever was happened can't be undone? I know too many people like this. I'm really thinking about one specific person who got I had to fall all the way back because again, very manipulative, very emotionally manipulative, and trying to force like trying to word it so it was like, oh well, it was on me. No, you're emotionally manipulative. You like to be in control, and you can't control me. Your tactics don't work, so now you're upset. You just keep trying stuff, and then when I call you on it, now you want to play the victim. Get off my phone. You add no value to my life. There's no reason for you to be here. Thank you for your time. I will forget these memories. Life is going to continue better without you. I'm not talking about death. I'm just talking about you go live your life. Because as far as you being in mine, nothing's going to skip a beat at all. You called me. I don't call you. Like I think that is a major thing. Again, me being an introvert, ambivert, omnivert, whatever you want, whatever drill whatever you want to call it. I don't really, I don't like if I'm not calling you on a consistent basis. I mean, it's nothing against you, but you probably don't really add that much value to my life. It's a how come you don't call me? Why do I need to? What are we talking about? I barely like phone conversations. Send me an email, text, carrier pigeon. But calling should definitely be the last option when it comes down to carrier pigeon. Absolutely, yes. Send me one of the owls from Harry Potter. Whatever. Just do that. We can continue on that way. But what we talking about?
We're talking about other energy things that drain objects. It can also be situations or even physical objects in your life, meaning the internet can drain your energy, being on social media, the radio, your phone, being in crowds, sometimes going to parties, certain animals, You know, a lot of things drain your energy. A lot of things in life drain your energy. So I think that I want to close the show by saying that we need to take an energy inventory. We need to take an inventory and see what things in our lives, whether it be people, whether it be object, whether it be places, what is really draining our energy and making us tired. Because I'm finding that people are really complaining that they are tired. Is it the food that you are eating? You know, we're living in a time where you can't really eat anything. Somebody was on social media talking about they cut up a watermelon. The watermelon looked like meat. It looked like jelly. Now I know I love watermelon, and I've been trying to find a watermelon with some seeds for over 20 years or more. I just found a farm here in Houston, Texas, that grow watermelons. I just had a watermelon with some seeds in it. Oh, I don't think I've had a watermelon with seeds since I was a little girl. So, or at least a teenager. So, you know, what foods and stuff are you eating? I think that it's really time to take a detox and time to just to take inventory in our lives of what is making us tired, whether it be people. And it's not necessarily that you have to block people. I think people need to get out unless somebody got some serious mental issues.
Hmm.
You don't need to be blocking people. You need to be dealing with people because in dealing with them, you learn things about yourself.
Yeah, then I wasted my time dealing with this person because me trying to be rational and them not, or them playing the victim with everything. Yeah, you gotta go. Like, there's nothing worse than a person who does not take accountability for the things that they did, or they try to take accountability, but then tell you that you should take accountability for something that they feel as though you should take accountability for. Fuck yeah, that.
Well, close us out on that note. It's 7:54. Go ahead and close us out. We came on early today. We had to do a part one and a part two because these energy vampires are everywhere. So we need to take inventory. So go ahead and close us out, Dante.
Listen, if you're dealing with somebody or a situation or whatever it may be, and afterwards you feel drained, you feel tired, you don't feel like your normal self, you might need to reevaluate who and what that person is. Now, again, when I say evaluate, because some people you can't get rid of. You can't get rid of your mother, grandmother, father, grandfather, cousin, stuff like that. But you definitely need to reassess how they're being dealt with. Also, accept them for who they are. You can't change them. You can't tell people what they should be accountable for because you feel as though they should be accountable for it. Everybody was raised differently. Most people are being raised off of survival and they don't fully know. They do not know. So accountability wasn't always a thing because, like, well, they don't know what that is. Okay, all right, fine, no issue. But again, if you're dealing with a situation through and through, even if it's your job, maybe this is your sign that it's time for you to start looking for somewhere else or something else. Yes, the money might be good, but how good is the money if your health is the risk factor behind it? Go
Yeah.
ahead on, go ahead on, find something else. Go ahead on, retire, get your pension. Go ahead and live life. Dealing with the same things over and over again, either one, you're failing the test or you're choosing to be in a situation that you have no business in. This, at the end of the day, this is your life. Take control of your life. Set the boundary, enforce the boundary. You cross this line, things are going to happen. I'm not saying it has to be physical, but things are going to happen. I have to check me as well. That is it.
Okay, you guys, like and share,
Tell your
like
mom and them.
and subscribe, and we will see you guys on next Sunday. The time goes by so